Welcome to the Fate of Ukraine channel. The war, which will fill its first year in the coming days, is not going as the Russian leader Putin wanted. The number of people who lost their lives in the Russian army, which faced crises from the first days of the war, has been breaking records in recent weeks. According to the data published by Ukrainian side, close to 1,000 Russian soldiers die every day. While Russian President Vladimir Putin's troops gradually retreated from Ukrainian territory they had won in the first weeks of the war, data released by Ukrainian officials show that 824 Russian soldiers lost their lives a day in February. It is not possible to confirm the number with certainty, but the examinations of British Ministry of Defense confirm the numbers that have emerged. According to the Ukrainian data highlighted by United Kingdom, 824 Russian soldiers die every day. These losses increased fourfold compared to July. About 172 Russians died each day, more than 4 times the rate reported in June and July. The Ukrainian army indicates that 137,780 Russian soldiers have been neutralized since the beginning of the war. Ukrainian army began to use stealth technology in the front zone. The new type of drone used by the Ukrainian army fell like a bomb on the world agenda. The resulting video footage scared the Russian commanders. The new technology drone using a jet thruster took off. Unlike normal drones, this drone uses jet propulsion outside of conventional methods and still uses a conventional engine. Local sources also revealed that this jet propellant drone carries a very impressive explosive. The Ukrainian army has also released a video of it using such a special drone for the first time. Russian military experts also stated that the logistics lines have come to an end. In the resulting video frames, it was seen that the launcher of the new unmanned aerial vehicles was a pickup truck. The exact type of drone is unknown, but military experts state that the resulting propulsion drones are considerably more powerful than Iranian-made UAVs. The new scourge of the Russian army is officially on the field. The emerging intelligence data comes amid intense allegations that Russian forces will launch an offensive in the east of the country. Last week, Ukraine's defense minister Alexei Reznikov said they expect another Russian attack around February 24, the anniversary of the war. However, some local politicians, along with the governors of Luhansk and Donetsk, claim that the attack has already begun. Within 24 hours, 41 clashes took place on the Bakhmut front alone. As a result of these clashes, the spokesperson of Eastern Forces of Ukraine stated the information that 600 Russian soldiers were neutralized. The main direction of the offensive of the Russian army remains the Bakhmut section of the front, said Serhiy Cherevatiy, spokesman for the Eastern Forces Group. There, Russian soldiers made 167 attacks with various rocket artillery along the entire section of the front. There were 41 conflicts, the Eastern spokesman made a statement. Russia has suffered probably the heaviest losses since the first week of the war in the last 2 weeks. United Kingdom Defense Intelligence announced that the increase in Russian casualties was seen in Volodar and Bakhmut regions. British intelligence states that the Russians lost so many soldiers because of a number of factors, including a lack of trained personnel, coordination and resources at the front. Russia has launched a massive offensive against Ukraine, which has left behind days of intense conflict. Alexei Danilov, secretary of the National Security and Defense Council, said Russians had launched a massive offensive but had big problems in that regard. Kremlin has big problems with the massive offensive. The Russians have officially started the attack, but not only Russian authorities say that the attack has started. According to the news from the region, Ukrainian soldiers successfully repelled the attacks. Because, of course, Russia itself is tired. Although Moscow does not experience an economic collapse contrary to what the West expects, it spends billions of dollars in Ukraine, and also increases various social support programs to prevent reactions within the country. However, both the existence of the reserve fund and the increase in energy prices ensure that Russia does not experience major economic problems. However, Moscow lost hundreds of thousands of trained soldiers during the mobilization. Perhaps this is the first time Kremlin has encountered a reaction, albeit limited, on the subject. In addition to the financial losses, Russia, which Peter I tried to make a part of Europe, is increasingly becoming a part of Asia in every sense. Factors such as being banned even from competitions in the fields of sports and culture, that is, isolating Russia and Russian people from the world, and that the new mobilization that will be needed if the war continues will cause much bigger reactions, are among the reasons why Moscow has started to talk about peace. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, in his speech to the parliament during his visit to England last week, reiterated the demand of the West to supply his country with fighter jets. Ukraine's defense minister said that they expect a new Russian attack in the coming days. Alexei Reznikov, who held a press conference, stated that all the weapons sent by his Western allies would not have arrived by then, but that they had sufficient reserves to hold the Russian forces. Also, a politician from Zelensky's party stated that Reznikov would be replaced by military intelligence chief Kirill Budanov. The war dictates personnel policy, said Ukrainian MP David Arakhamia when announcing the reassignment. At the press conference before his dismissal from the ministry, Reznikov emphasized that Russia does not yet have the resources to launch an all-out attack, but that it can still launch an offensive on February 24, the anniversary of the war, as a symbolic step. Reznikov said that Russia could prioritize capturing the eastern Donbas region alongside its attacks in southern Ukraine. Defense Minister also stated that Ukrainian soldiers will start training with German-made Leopard tanks from today. Reznikov stated that his country has received new missiles with a range of 150 kilometers, but they will not be used against Russian soil, but only against Russian troops controlling Ukrainian territory. Despite the influx of Western weapons into Ukraine, Russia, sending more troops to the region, has had success with gains around Bakhmut in recent days. It is stated that the mercenary company Wagner played a large part in the conflicts in the region. Wagner's founder, Yevgeny Prigozhin, stated that in some parts of the city there were violent clashes for each street, and Ukrainian forces fought to the last man. Russian forces have been trying to control Bakhmut for months, and capturing this important area is crucial to the goal of capturing the entire Donbas region. According to last-minute information, a huge step has come from the Kremlin, which cannot stand the pressure. Evaluating the statement of the deputy head of the Russian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Sergei Vershinin, regarding Russia's claim that Russia is ready for negotiations with Ukraine, taking into account the goals of the Russian Federation and the current reality, Minister of Foreign Affairs, National Security and Defense Council noted that Russians are trying to implement the Second Ukraine Project. Polish President Andrzej Duda said sending the F-16 warplanes requested by Ukraine was not an easy decision. Polish President Andrzej Duda, who was a guest on news channels, spoke about the warplanes demanded by Ukraine. Duda said sending F-16 fighter jets to Ukraine was a very serious decision that is not easy to take. Ukraine demands allied countries to provide support by sending warplanes. Russian Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Vershinin told Zvezda television that Moscow is ready to start negotiations with Kiev without any preconditions. It has been reported that NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg's mandate, which was extended due to the war in Ukraine, will not be extended and he will leave his post as of October 2023. NATO spokesperson Ona Lungescu said that the news that NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg's mandate will be extended does not reflect the truth. The mandate of the Secretary General was extended from March 2022 until September 30, 2023. Stoltenberg, whose mandate was extended 3 times before that, will leave the post as of October 2023. Stoltenberg, who previously served as Norwegian Prime Minister for more than 8 years and Norwegian Finance Minister for 4 years, and also leading the Norwegian Workers' Party, applied to head the central bank of his country after his duty in NATO ended last year. We have come to the end of another video. You can like the video to support us. By subscribing, you can easily follow new videos. See you.